I have lived my life envisioning the next chapter. And I think as I matured, I've gotten better and better at knowing when a chapter has closed and when it's time to move on to something new. And so this process was no different at all. Once Tom had decided to sell the restaurants in Baltimore, we realized that I could look at retirement in a different way than I ever thought would be possible for me. I had done my final 2 years of teaching. Frankly, I thought I would be teaching longer, maybe 3 or even 5 years rather than two. Um, and that's probably a whole other video about how I went back to the classroom as a place to reclaim my center after 8 years of state service. We'll talk about that another time. Really, this video is about the vision board idea. So behind me is a dining room table, and that same dining room table was in our dining room in Baltimore. And we covered it with white paper in Baltimore, sort of the kind of paper you might eat steamed crabs on. We did a lot of steamed crab eating around that table as well, and put markers and colored pencils on the table. And for about 6 weeks or even 2 months, anytime we would walk by the table, we would make a note, or something would come to us about what we thought our next chapter might look like. We would make a note. And so all of our ideas, all of our dreams and aspirations went onto this dining room table covered in white paper. And then Tom, in his brilliant artistic way, took that large piece of paper and turned it into, we condensed it into some concise ideas that could be present with us, that we could think about easily and remember easily. And he came up then with this piece of paper. And I don't know enough about this whole platform yet to know if this is going to be backwards for you or not. So forgive me. Actually, forgive me about all of this. None of this is going to be edited. We just thought it might be fun to share our journey, particularly as two gay guys in their 60s making the outrageous choice to totally change their lives. So the vision board turned into this piece of paper, and you can see that we broke it down into several categories: values, community, home. What's the last one? And daily activities. How would we fill our days? And so the ideas on this board, on this piece of paper, actually, this piece of paper was then posted on our bathroom mirror. So we saw it every day. And as we began exploring where we were looking for the next chapter, we kept coming back to this document. We looked in Vermont, we looked in Maine, we looked in New Hampshire, we looked in a little bit further upstate New York, we looked in Connecticut. We knew New England was calling to us for sure. And then slowly, this area made sense. And then Tom, while I was still teaching, found this historic house called Acorn Cottage. We're not sure of the history of that name or even if it's a real thing. It was how this cottage was marketed. And so this is one of the, when the valley was flooded for the Ashokan Reservoir, several buildings, I think there were 7 communities that were displaced to do that. Another long story. This is one of those houses that was taken out of the reservoir in 1912 or 1913. And so this channel, again, is a total experiment, just an act of creativity and joy, and a way for us to share love and connect. Tom will connect in hopefully more as time goes on. I picked up this project and ran with it, and I think he's just coming along. So we'll see how that goes. So it's a way for us to connect and invite people in to see what we're doing, how we're doing it, and hopefully spread a little love.